Hello, everyone. So if you're watching the replay, please just bear with me while I get started. We are discussing today, where do souls come from and where do they go when we die? Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. All vibrations, I'm trying to get you the information you asked for. I just have to dig it out because it might be at the studio. And I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to get it to you until I can get myself over there. So working on it. Hello, everybody. So welcome. Instagram just sent out my notification. I think Sam sent out a telegram. I know it's kind of early. So let's see. I'm just gonna wait for a few of you to hop on. So today, Spirit asked me to talk about where souls come from and where they go when we pass away, when we die. So I'm gonna just wait a few minutes. Good morning. For those of you who are looking to join my VIP group, it is open for joining until the end of February, and you can join that in my link in bio, or by going to highpriestessmay.net. You'll be able to find it there. What else? Also, the tarot course is still open for joining if you would like to learn how to read tarot. All right. That was a creepy spot. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So today we are talking about where do souls come from and where do we go when we die? Okay. Very important topic. So I asked the angels and the goddesses to chime in on here. Okay. So for those of you who, well, obviously most of you know what angels are. Goddesses, for those of you who don't know, a gede is a spirit guide in my tradition that is known for guiding people both in their lives as well as guiding the dead and being responsible for picking up the dead and the processing of dead souls through the underworld. Okay, because when we die, there's a certain process that has to be followed, which is the reason why we have to pray for 9 days. Okay, so Spirit asked me to talk about it. Okay, so where do souls come from? So the goddesses and the angels explained to me that souls come from what's called the fountain of souls. So some traditions call it the hall of souls, but they call it specifically the fountain of souls. So basically in the universe, there is a bowl where all souls are born from. And God and Goddess basically create every single soul, store it in the bowl, and from this bowl, all souls are chosen and placed into a physical body. So at the moment of conception, when a baby becomes conceived, a soul is actually chosen, and that soul will follow the mother around. And once it's time for the child to be born, the soul will jump into the vessel, okay? The human vessel that we are given. So there is kind of this thing that Archangel Michael has been fighting with. The reason why there has been a fight of good versus evil is because the shadow entities, which we come here to overcome, have been trying to destroy the fountain of souls for a very long time. Not just the fountain of souls, but they have been trying to destroy the third dimensional creation that was created. Many of us can call it the earth. The third dimensional creation that was created to basically play out this video game that we are living in. Okay. And the way that they've tried to do this is by trying to get good humans to break the 7 seals of the apocalypse. Okay. And there is belief that the moment that the 7th seal is broken, the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse will be released, and the first child without a soul will be born, which will be basically the Antichrist. When this moment happens, there would be massive catastrophe on planet Earth, and all of basically the revelations would happen, where all of the souls of the living and the dead would be given their final judgment, and basically the whole process of incarnating on Earth to elevate would basically be destroyed. And so a new system would have to be created by God and Goddess in order to continue our elevation process. So what happens when we die in this incarnation? So when we die in this incarnation, Spirit explains to me that we go through what's called the 9 gates, which is why we pray for 9 days. We do like the 9-day wake in my culture. It's a lot of people do it. It's kind of like a Catholic tradition, but nobody knows why they do it. They just know that there's a reason that's really important that they're supposed to do it for 9 days. Like just pray for the soul's elevation for 9 days, and kind of, it's interesting that it's called a wake, because when you are being waked is actually when you are awake. Because in the process of the gates, when you're passing through the gates, you start to receive different information. Some souls are too scared to go through the gate because they know that they didn't complete their purpose here on Earth, so they tend to try to hold themselves back, or they tend to try to basically hold themselves back, and they become intranquil spirits because they don't want to go through the gates. So they just decide to stay bound to the 3rd dimensional world. So basically, when we go through the 9 gates, at the 9th gate, there is the process of judgment. And yes, the judgment does happen. It's not the same as like Christianity would tell you. It's actually slightly different. So the judgment happens where basically your heart and your good deeds are weighed versus your bad deeds and your lessons that you have learned. So if you have learned certain lessons, but you haven't quite achieved let me back up. To your judgment, your spirit guide and your head spirit attend your judgment and defend your soul, by the way. Because I've been shown the judgment room in multiple dreams. The judgment room, basically, it's like a big rotunda, if that's the right word, like a big circle. And in the middle head of the circle is the God and Goddess, and there's also ascended masters, meaning ascended people that have done great things for humanity, that have basically become like the Christ. Okay, so in the head of the judgment room are them, and then around the judgment room stand all of the spirit guides. I did see Orishas in the judgment room. Spirit guides, Orishas, ancestors are not allowed in the judgment room. They are allowed to watch from the outside of the judgment room, and they are allowed to ask to be a witness on your behalf. Okay, so these are Our ancestors are basically different fractals of ourselves. So, and also the archangels are in the judgment room. So you have the elevated beings, the archangels, and you are able to have Gidesis are able to come in and out of the judgment room because they are spirit guides. Okay. So let me see what else I can remember. The archangels stand in the back because they're like the tallest. Oh, I also saw Greek gods as well as Hindu deities in the judgment room when I have been shown it. So all of your spirit guides, all of the divine beings show up to the judgment room during, I'm not sure how often this judgment happens. I would probably have to say it's continuous because they are omnipresent, so they can be anywhere. They can be in multiple places at once. Okay, so they can be in multiple different places at the same time. So when you get to judgment and they look at your life experiences here in the matrix or the third dimensional world, you are basically sentenced to three categories of what happens to your soul. The first sentence is actually four. The first sentence is reincarnation. So if you've done some good, but not really that much good, and you haven't really learned that much in many lessons, then you are sentenced to reincarnate in the earthly realm. If you have learned a lot of good, but there are still some things that you need to finish off, you can be given the option to become a spirit guide. So spirit guides are beings that are, they're slightly more elevated, but they still need just a little notch to just like push them over the edge of being fully elevated. So spirit guides, you can, if you are at that point where like you've learned 9 out of 10 lessons, but you just have like that one lesson to learn, then you can be turned into, you can ask to be a spirit guide. I've seen this happen to a lot of people who have passed away. They've become spirit guides instead of choosing to reincarnate back on earth. They're like, okay, I'll just learn my lessons from the spirit realm and I'll help other people learn their lessons, and then that's how I'll move up. Okay. Then the other sentence that you get during judgment is to be recycled. So if you have incarnated in so many lives, and no matter what your spirit guides try to do with you, you're still not facing your demons and overcoming them, it's time to be recycled. So basically what happens is that at this point, the god and goddess strip you completely of all of your memories, all of your imprints, and you go back to being a new soul, and you get thrown back into the fountain of souls to start the journey all over again. So you like it here. I like it here. It's more El Gatico, yeah, she's just can't. Anyway, so there are different types of judgments. Being reincarnated is not in a sense a punishment. Actually, the punishment is when your soul gets completely destroyed and recycled, because at this point your spirit guides are even chiming in that you're not going to learn the lessons. It's been too long. Your soul has just it's not going to learn lessons anymore. So it's literally on the brink of becoming a demon. Like, you are just not going to learn. So free will is in this world. Okay. So free will is in this world, not in the other world. In the other world, we have the answer to God. We no longer have free will. So in this world, though, we have the free will to do what we want, in a process of us getting to learn our lessons. So basically, so then the final judgment from what the Genesis have explained to me is you get to go to paradise. So you get to live in paradise eternally. So what is paradise? Paradise is not really like heaven. So paradise is basically where you get to elevate to God form, and you get your own world to dominate, from what I was explained. You get your own world where you are a god yourself, and you also learn the process of creating souls and going through the process of take that action. So you basically get to be a god, and you get your own universe, you get your own planet to basically dominate over and watch over, because it's not just about dominating over that planet. It's about being able to play out your most happy paradise. Okay, so in the paradise side, where you get to live eternally in paradise, you get to live there as a god. So that is where you reach true immortality as a consciousness, and that is where you get to have, if your spirit guides deem you worthy, and if your spirit guides feel that you have learned how to properly treat others, then they will give you the blessing of becoming a god in your own realm with your own souls that you create, and that you help them through the same process. So that is what paradise is, and basically you can make that world whatever paradise you desire it to be. So you get the power of the gods when you not only when you do good deeds, but when you learn your lessons and you overcome your shadows, and you realize that your shadows are projections, and that other people's shadows are projections. So it's all about overcoming the shadows and fulfilling your life purpose, and learning how to have empathy and compassion for others, because you need that when you are a god. When you are a god, it's like you're a parent to an entire race. So you have to know how to take care of your children. It's a big responsibility. You get all of the power of the universe given to you, but you also have to prove that you are deserving of it. Okay, which is the reason why Lucifer did not get his world, because he was still too egotistical. He was still too focused on his own desires and wanting to be the king of the world, and did not learn the humility that God needed him to have, to understand that people were not playthings. They were not toys. The souls are toys to play with. So when we reach God status, we have to know that our souls are not toys just to play with. The souls of others are not toys. So in order to receive the paradise, you have to purify your heart through the process of descension and ascension. It's a circle. Okay, so you descend to ascend. So when you are born in the fountain of souls, you are considered already to be like an angel, an earth angel. But you have to go through the process of descending from angel form through the human processes, to then ascend back into angel form, and then possibly ascend into God form. So It's a process, y'all. It's a process. It's a process. But in the meantime, while you're overcoming your shadows here, you have to try to enjoy the experience and the beauty of this dimension as well, and try to stay present even though you are conscious to the truth. Stay present. So we, like I said, we descend to ascend and to purify our consciousness and our hearts so that we can ascend into ultimate God form and get our own earth, I shouldn't say play around with, because that's not really what we're supposed to do. Our own earth to take care of, okay? There are millions and millions and millions of worlds that we cannot even imagine, okay? So there is definitely a lot of gods. There are a lot of people that have ascended to that God form. Exactly. So we can get to the point of where we get to take care of our own world, okay? So we have to experience ourselves through others so that we can purify our hearts and purify our shadows, purify our inner child, and then ascend to our truest form. And again, like I said, this can take many lifetimes. So that's why every time you pass, you go through the whole process of the 9 gates over and over and over again until spirit decides, or your spirit guides are like, and you're not just your spirit guides, but your higher self too. Your higher self says, you haven't integrated me. You don't deserve to receive ultimate paradise. So you also have to integrate your higher self. Integrate your higher self and overcome your shadows. Integrate them and realize that they are a part of you and you can purify them through doing the work. That's true. Imagine having kids here. So having kids here is kind of like a practice to having your own world where you have to take care. Imagine how God feels that all of us are down here, like using our free will to hurt each other, and God and Goddess are our parents, like watching over our world. Like, what are you doing down there? Like, what? Jesus. I always imagine it's like Jesus, and Jesus is like, yes, God. So a little God joke. Huh. Anyways, so remember that is basically the process, at least the process in its very condensed form. You made me feel sorry for God. What, your guys, girl, what you doing? Yes, so when our loved ones pass on, prayers help them get through the 9 gates. That's why we wake them for 9 days, where they're going through the process of reawakening into who they truly are completely, as they go through the 9 gates. It's believed that they're actually going through the 9 gates of hell, but it's not really that. It's the 9 gates of the underworld, the 9 gates of the limbo realm, basically, where the Gedeses work constantly to process souls and get them to their proper judgment room. Okay, so yeah. With the panda outbreak, some Gede work was really backed up. That's why we felt towards the last 6 months of last year, we felt a major delay in magical workings getting finished, or we felt a delay in communication with the spirit realm. A lot of us did, and the reason for that is because they were processing so many souls while they were trying to get, while God was trying to resolve the issue of the beings of darkness that got out of control again and just wreaked havoc on the third dimension. So, but things, I've been told that things are now back to normal. If not, things are moving faster now. So now, after the conjunction between Saturn and Jupiter, the manifestation energy in this reality has been quickened. So meaning that things will manifest faster than before. And that all has to do with the process of our elevation. All right. So that's all that I'm going to say for now. I got to go shovel myself out or try to shovel myself out because they're saying that I'm probably not going to be shoveled out of my driveway till probably Friday if I don't do it myself. So I got to go do that. Many blessings. Have a blessed day. Enjoy your day on your process of ascension. Remember to stay present, work on your shadows, work on your higher self integration. Take some time to work on yourself. Okay? Many blessings. Bye.